Okay, here we go. Uh, Everybody knows who I am. I'm Coach Stacy, and we are today's meeting. I don't even know what day today is. Today's August 5th, right? Wednesday, August 5th. And today we're going to actually discuss back to basics. And the reason for that is that we have a lot of new coaches, and we also have a lot of coaches that are reviving. And I've been seeing a lot of posts that I know sometimes I can't keep my mouth shut about. You know, that's me, but I'm just trying to help. Just remember that. All my criticisms that I would give towards something or ask you, why did you post that? Or why did you do it that way? Is because, one, I want to know your why. And two, I want you to actually convey it better. You know, because if I didn't understand why you did something, someone who doesn't know anything about it probably is like, oh, what's the big deal here, right? So I want to go over a little bit about posting. And also how to highlight your posts. If you do not know how to highlight your posts, I want to show you how to do that. And highlighting your posts gets it more in the news feed too, above other posts. So you want to choose which posts are the important ones to highlight. So we'll get to that after. So an initial post, what you want basically as a clean picture, okay? And you want it personal. So that means not always putting soggy in there or a body beast tag, and I'm not just yelling at you, Craig, or putting autumn there. And I'll give you another idea about autumn. Do you know some people do not get the 21-day fix because of autumn's picture? So think of it that way. They think she's too skinny, or that they cannot get there. That it actually scares her away. So the more you show autumn versus showing yourself, you're actually scaring people away. So you don't want to do that. All right. If you watch the Fit and Funky, Danielle, who's one of the top 10 coaches, one of the millionaire coaches, if you watch that video that I posted there, she explains a whole bunch about posting. And if you watch my post, you see I change things up and I try different things all the time. And basically what I found, long posts, long worded posts, if you do it rarely. Once a month, maybe. Long-winded posts, the average person, it's almost like sitting on a toilet. If they could read it while they sit on a toilet, you got their attention, that's it. You know, so they used to say about like People magazine or newspaper articles, if it's short enough for someone to read while they're sitting on a toilet, it's going to get read. Hate to compare our posts to that. But that's what an adult mind span is. It's just the way it is. They're so busy. The last thing they want to do is read a post that's going to last forever, right? So think about that when you're posting. Okay, I just finished pooping. Am I done reading my post? You know, so you can do that. And I'm recording this call. This is awesome. Okay, so enough about poop. All right, the pictures once again nice and clear. And says something. I actually have to change my pictures, and I will go when I go screen share, and I'll talk to you about why I'm going to change my pictures. But I try all different types of pictures. The ones that seem to get the most attention is a single picture that's clear. It can have a nice background and not too many words because it's eye-catching. You do a lot, lately I've been doing a lot of collages, and I actually found they get less attention than my single pictures. So collages are good if there's nice space between them and it doesn't take their eyes to to the point where it's just too much. You have to have space there. You know, if it's not attracting to the eyes as they're going through the news feed, they're not going to stop and look at yours. They're going to move on quickly because it was too much. So think about that too. Now, when you're posting and you want it to be one of your critical posts, and what I mean by critical posts, I mean something that is about your journey, about your health, about Beachbody, Shakeology, a program, something that you're trying to get business from. That post, that wording really shouldn't have been written in 2 seconds. It really should take time to write that post. So in your power hours, even if it's split up 15 minutes there, 15 minutes there. Now, I'm going to go back to the time where I was working 3 jobs plus Beachbody. So nights, days, and weekends, I was busy. So when I had a 15-minute break, I would actually design a post during that 15 minutes and then go back to it again. You know, I would get the idea, I kind of brainstorm what I want to say my first run, and then go back to it. And this is how I built my business to a point where I stopped having those 3 jobs. I eliminated one job, eliminated another job, eliminated all of them. See how that worked? So as I worked longer and harder on things that I wanted to bring out there, the results came faster. Another thing to think about, especially for newer coaches and reviving coaches, if you are posting this month about something, most likely next month you'll get the results, or the month after. Today I invited to 90 people, and I didn't hear back from everyone, and I did the invite for the webinar. Now you could join the webinar, Hillary Kelly's, if you're not in the Busting Diamonds group. So join the Hillary Kelly one, and Ashley, you and I will talk about all this tomorrow. And I didn't hear back from 90% of the people, but the people that I did hear back, out of the 90 that I contacted, and I'll show you, so that's just one page right there. And I wrote it in paper, and this is not normally me because I'm a computer geeky girl. There's another couple of pages, and another page. So that's my 9, and you can see the ones that are little notes next to it. Those are the people that got back to me. So honestly, that's not that many, is it? For 90. So it took me almost all day to do it. So I'm not saying that you have to sit down all day and do 90 like I did. But I wanted to get that 90 out of the way because I might want to invite more at the, either, before next Tuesday when the webinars are. And I also want to start conversations with some of these people. Besides, yes, I want to join, or no, I don't. I want to go back. We started, the invite was for the webinar, but yet it opened the doorway. Not one person was rude to me. Okay, so, but almost every single one of them that said no, which so far is only 6, they said, I love following you. I had no idea that some of these people were following me. I'll be quite honest with you. I did a blind invite. I went to my friends list and went to one person, to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, and did not care. I had the same post for each one that I put in there. Except if I did know them and I knew I spoke to them recently, I added a line or 2 on the bottom that was more personal. Like, hey, by the way, love that dress. Or, hey, by the way, this and that. Or, how's your husband feeling? At the end. So I did personalize it at the end of that invite, the same invite that I used for all 90 people. And what that did and how I used that invite and what the invite was like, it was inviting. So nobody felt pressure. It was just inviting and, easy for them to just say no. And for the people that say no, I say, okay, no worries. And then, okay, no worries, Ash. And what, the thing about that is that with them not feeling the pressure, when I come back and say, okay, no worries, they actually started a conversation. So what does that do? If I start a conversation, then it opens the door for something else, right? I just, started forming them. So I ended up forming 3 people that said no, and 3 people that said yes. So that's 6 people I formed in the process of that, and I have 20 yeses. And like I said, a good 75 people did not even come back to me yet. So that's an amazing, how to get the ball rolling kind of thing. So it has to be the right, if you're posting to the point where people are interested, if you invite them, they're going to say, hey, I've been following you. I love your information. Oh, Stacy, please don't take this the wrong way. I'm just not interested in the business, but I do follow you about health issues, and I'm going to get in touch with you real soon. I had that about 5 times, right? So, in fact, 1 or 2 of those people ended up being yes at the end of that conversation. Yes, Lisa? Lisa?
I did the same kind of scenario as you, with invites, and I got the only notes that I got were that they were going to be on vacation and wouldn't be home. And someone else in your time zone would be doing an event with her daughter outside of the house, so she wouldn't be home. But I didn't get any flat out no's.
That's
And
awesome.
with only doing 29 invites, I got 10 yeses, and the rest I haven't heard from yet. And I'll be inviting more tomorrow. It was just overwhelming for me to do more than one full sheet. I did one full sheet.
Right. Well, you know me, I'm a crazy person, and if I
I couldn't do it, I had to walk away.
Yeah.
So I was crazy.
Trust me, I was real batty. No one could talk to me at certain points because I was totally brain fried, and it took all day to do this. But boy, I'm already getting great results. Now, say only those 20 answer me, which will be odd. I'm sure tomorrow I'm going to get a whole bunch more answers, right? Say those 20 people that said yes. 1/3 of them sign up with me. Was it worth it today? Yeah, so what's 1/3 of 20?
6.5.
6.5, 7. So let's say 7 people sign up. You know they're going to sign up with the challenge pack. So that's 14 points right there. So not so bad, right? So think of it that way. I did push myself to the limit today. I am not asking you to do what I did, but do it the way Lisa does. She did 20 and she walked away. You can do 10 and walk away, but try to get 90 in this week, and invite 90 people to a webinar that someone else is going to do for you. It talks about the business, so you don't have to do it, and you don't have to worry about them participating in the sneak peek. Now, about the sneak peek, when the people are saying they cannot make it that time, tomorrow I'm going to follow up and say, because I said, oh, no worries today because I did not have the time because I want to get all 90 in. So tomorrow I'm going to oh, you know what? We're throwing a sneak peek on Facebook. I know you're not going to be around for the webinar, but we usually keep this up for a couple of weeks. How about if I add you to that? And most likely they're going to be, oh, yeah, sure. So we're really lucky that on the same day we have a sneak peek and there's webinar going on the same day. So we can add people say, oh, I'm not home at that time of the call. And now I can say, oh, you know what? I'm just going to add you to this group, which basically is the same thing, but it's just spread over 3 days. You just go in, check in, the posts for the day, participate, and leave, that kind of thing. Nothing filling your time. Some people might not want to commit to 60 minutes, 30 minutes, however long the webinar is going to be. So you could always say, well, I have this instead. Would you be interested in? That kind of thing. You want to get to what their real no is. That's also important. No, I don't have time right now. So if you give them an alternative and they still say no, then the time really wasn't the no. Find out the no. Go for the no's. Because the more you go for the no's, the more you actually start forming that person, getting to know that person, getting to understand that person, and know what's next. Make any sense? Yeah? Okay, so now let's go back to those posts. Do you think I would have gotten 20 yeses so easily today if my posts were bad? No. Nobody would be following me. So I know that, we say posting's not that important, but it is important kind of thing. Don't do too many posts in a day because then people are overwhelmed with stuff. If you lose yourself on your page, if you're not that same person, if I wasn't posting about my kids, if I wasn't posting about puppuccinos, or actually I got a message today, what happened to your mug of the day? I miss it. How did I know? That was one of the people that said yes. Oh, by the way, what happens to mug of the day? I actually started collecting mugs because of you. I was like, okay. I said, I'll start my mug of the day again. So I had no idea because I haven't spoken to this person. He came back. She goes, the last time we spoke to each other is 2008. I'm like, oh my gosh, bad me, right? How bad was that on me? But I was like, in 2008, I wasn't even a coach. So that means when I did start coaching, I didn't reach that person. So why didn't I reach that person? He's one of my yeses. So she's been following me since 2008. That's a long time. So she was following my cancer journey. And then she saw me become a nutritionist. She saw me become a Beachbody coach. And the whole reason why she's saying yes is because what she followed, not because of an invite. So on your page, your post, 1, do not overflood posts. You do not need 10 posts a day. You really don't. There's days where I have tons, there's days I have hardly any. Because all of a sudden, I'm a very impulsive person, and we know that about me, right? If I want to do it, I'm just going to do it, done. I couldn't help myself, I do it. You don't have to be like me at all. But there's days where I have tons of posts up just because I just needed to post it at that time, and that's fine. And then there's other days I hardly have any. So it balances out. It's good to have 3 to 5 posts on there a day. And if you're doing only 5 posts a day and 3 of them is Beachbody, that's a lot, right? So do not lose the basics, our 3 vitals. Who can tell me what our 3 vital behaviors are?
Personal development.
Awesome. So what are you doing for personal development right now, Lisa?
GoPro.
GoPro, that's right, because we're doing Busting Diamonds, right? Okay, anybody else? What are you doing for personal development right now? Vic?
Oh, I wanted to get that Jab.
Awesome book.
Yeah, I tried to go today to get it, but there's no bookstores around here. And then I'm going to have Eric sign up at the library, or else I'm just going to order it online. I'm like in the middle of nowhere, but that's the one I think I want to get. Did you read that one?
Well, I'm horrible. I've started reading every book there is out there.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't mean I finished them all. And Jab is, in my opinion, awesome because it does help you do that whole breadcrumb effect that you're supposed to do as a coach.
Yeah, because that's what I think I need.
Yeah, like I'll mention, and you'll see that. You'll see my jabs lots of times where I just love the fact that I'm at home doing this, blah, 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 and a picture of me and the dogs. But I didn't mention come coach, right? Or, oh, crazy day. I can't believe I have 4 million things to do today. Who hates when you have days like that? I'm so glad I do what I do so I can fit it all in. Breadcrumb. So that's a jab. The hook is when you do that final post of, hey, come be a coach. See how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Great book. I would definitely recommend that one. Craig, are you doing any personal development right now?
I'm reading books. I'm not reading a book now.
Are you listening to any audios?
I watched that video you posted yesterday about the lady the one that I responded to you on about she had good ideas or whatever. I watched that.
That is personal development. So if you watch YouTube videos, the things that I'm posting training in there every day. So if you're doing that, that's personal development. So don't worry if you're not reading a book. I'm posting videos in there that you can watch. That's personal development. So anything that can help you either professionally or personally. Now, some people, will just be like reading the Bible or different things like that because they need that to rejuvenate themselves. It's stuff for you guys. You know what I mean? How to. That's that one. One area that I usually am very weak on, and I kept saying I'm really weak on that. But look at all that researching I do for you guys all the time. And how I do that is by reading and listening to videos and things like that. So I guess I am doing my professional development. I just find it not personal enough. I have to get my own personal development a little bit more. So the next step, what besides personal development are we doing?
Be a product of the product.
Right. So that's your posting. So being a product of the product, when you're posting, that's what we're going back to. Please have a little bit of your why when you're being product of the product. If you're just throwing out there, look at my great food, aren't you jealous? Well, people come back and say no. Okay. Right? So
It showed.
is that what you just did?
It cracked me up when I was swallowing.
Sorry. If you throw out there, a picture of your food without real explanation of why you're doing so, what does that do? I mean, the biggest joke is, And you'll see on Facebook all the time, I don't really care what you eat for breakfast. What do these people post about their food, right? So there's a lot of jokes about people posting their food or where they're out and what they're doing. They're like, who cares? So if you know people already, they're armed and ready to say, who cares? That's what their first thought's going to be. How are you going to change that? Make it into not a who cares, but, ooh, I want. And the way to do that is make it more personal to yourself, but also to your audience. And that's when I know I used to preach about this all the time. Make sure you're connecting with your audience with every post. I just see that we've lost that right now. So it has to be about you, but it also has to be about them. And if you have a niche market, you know exactly how to get to them because it's your niche. If you don't, like I don't really have a niche market because every time I think I'm focusing on area, I get a whole other area of people come to me. So I don't feel I have a real niche market, and every person above me and all the marketing experts tell me how wrong that is. But people follow me for my health. So my niche market really is for anyone who wants to improve their health since my cancer. That's kind of my market. I'm males, females. I have from 20-year-olds to 70-year-olds. So my niche market is people who truly care about health. So what do I have to focus on in my post then? The health part, right? So if I'm throwing out my food out there, I always say eating healthy and clean doesn't have to be expensive, or this is what helped me get through cancer. You know, this food here is what I ate while I was fighting cancer, or different things like that. Well, how does that pile of food that you're showing everybody connect to your why and what you want to do with it? So don't make those posts 2 seconds, throw it out there because you have a cool picture. Because I do that too. I'm horrible at that too. But if you do that, make sure you have valuable posts on there that shows value about you and value to the customer. Does that make sense? You don't want the person to say, who cares? Or so what? Seriously, because trust me, I'm looking at people's pages and I'm going, who cares? And so what? So if I'm doing it while I'm looking at your stuff and I know why you're doing it, imagine the people that you're trying to have you follow. They're going, I'm not even going to look at her page anymore. I'm not going to look at his page anymore. I don't get what they're doing here. And then the first time you put something of value and meaningful on your page, you'll get a whole bunch of likes. And Lisa, you probably testified to this. You weren't getting a lot of likes, and all of a sudden you started to. What changed?
Well, I was talking about myself and what's going on, and people are interested in that. Yeah. And I throw up occasionally, a meal that I made, or I made this in 20 minutes. It's not hard to make whole big food. So it's not always Shakeology, it's not always Beachbody, it's not always 21 Day Fix, So I started doing that, and there's a lot of people following my page, it seems like right now. So
right. Because it has value because it's about you as a person. Yeah. So you as a person is much more valuable than a picture of Autumn up there, or a picture of Autumn's, even just a cookbook. If you have a picture of the cookbook, make it into a collage, the cookbook, and then you cooking something. That would be really cool, right? It shows that you're actually cooking something. So you can have a picture of the cookbook up, and you're right next to it cooking. You don't even have to be looking directly at the camera. It could be a nice side view. Think of creative things like that. Show you're actually using the book. Things like that. So these are the main things that I wanted to cover. The next thing is invite, and I already talked about my 90 invites. If you want to know what I used as my invite, I'll gladly message it to you.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm working on this tomorrow. I have off tomorrow, and I plan on going through Capture the Stars, all the videos.
Okay.
I'm going to be spending lots of hours with this tomorrow.
Okay, well, that's awesome, because that's why I'm putting it in there. I have to be very honest with all of you. I put a lot of things in there, and when I see that it's not touched, you just think about the amount of time I'm taking to put things in there that I feel is right to put in there, and then nobody touches it.
It's just
So-
everybody different schedule though, but everybody appreciates that you do that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, please don't be offended or take it personally, Stacy. I mean,
When you see people saw it, but you could be just like in the middle of the store and you hear your phone go ding, and I'll look, and then I don't right away get to respond to it because I say, but I'm like, okay, good, that's good. She posted it. I'm gonna look at it later, and then you might look and say, well, she saw it and didn't comment or anything.
No, I'm not looking at for immediate gratification. That's not it at all. But if I put something up there that's been for a couple of weeks, and then I go back and say, hey, has anyone even looked at this? And everybody's like, well, I'll get to it. That's a couple of weeks. You know, people are asking me questions about something, you know, oh, I need information on this. And then I'm like, well, I did a whole post on that. That's when I get like frustrated, and you have to understand that. So that's just a matter of, you know, please check a couple places. I would like you to check Team Inspiration Nation, because there's time I post in there and not Capture the Stars, just because there's so many things, you know, I'm trying to get the whole team to do to help out Danielle. And then
I have to say, I don't go into Team Inspiration a lot. It's too much sometimes. It really is. There's just way too many. By the time I get there, there is just way too much shit to look at. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean,
okay.
I don't get a lot of time in front of the computer that way to go through it, because I mean, like, I just come off a 12-hour shift. I'm not even allowed to touch my phone when I'm out.
No. I understand that, because remember, I used to be you. So basically, and I understand that about big groups. You know, that you go to Team on Fire, where there's thousands of coaches, and go through those posts. I'm not asking that. The reason
I don't even bother.
Well,
I don't even bother. I go into Capture the Stars. I see all your guys' stuff. And if there's any special group, you know, like if you're doing a challenge or something like that, and every once in a while I'll go and, like, I'll get a notification, you know, from the Team Inspiration, but I don't know.
Notification because I tag you.
I know. Well, I could sit there for like 2 hours just going through the stuff, and it's
No, and I
not.
don't want you to go through 2 hours, but I'm telling you, like, every once in a while there'll be valuable posts, and I do try to tag you all on those posts.
Right, and those I will go into, and those I will, you know, I will check out and take a look at. I just don't feel that I'm using my time wisely by going in there. I don't know. I don't mean to sound like a jerk. Sorry.
Well, you're not sounding like a jerk, but I'm just, you know, letting you know that there's things that are posted in there that is not posted in Capture the Stars that are quite valuable. So that's, you know, I try to tag people, but it's really not my job to make sure you're looking. It's not how my income is going to increase. If we want to talk total business sense right now, my job is to do the 3 vital behaviors.
Right.
That's my job. And then that's never going to end. So if I'm spending, you know, I decided to invite 90 people today. That was a big vital behavior, right?
Yeah.
And I did some professional development by going into Busting Diamonds group. And then I shared that in our group, right? So I'm being product of the product. So that's my job, just like everybody else. As a leader, the rest of my job, which you all are leaders. If you have one coach underneath you, you are a leader. Your job is then to pass that information and to teach them. But there's only, you know, there's limits to that. There's limits to my time too, right? So I got to pack up a house in 15 days.
Okay, so like, seriously, how do you pick and choose? Like, tomorrow, I have a day off. I don't have my kids, which is, okay, woohoo! So, yeah, you know, I have a day to actually spend working on it. So, but I don't want to spend 8 hours doing it. I don't.
Well, you know, your priorities are your priorities, and if you're not spending the 8 hours,
I don't want to get lost. You know what I mean? I don't want to get lost in it and not be productive. I want to do my invites. I want to get like at least 30 invites done tomorrow.
Okay.
I want to watch all the videos you post.
Well, then you might want to watch some of those videos first, because they talk about how to invite. Mm-hmm. So it might be important for you to look at those videos first. I would also look at, if you didn't see Fit and Funky, Danielle's post, which is the one Craig was talking about, the video there about posting. I would definitely be looking at that one because the posting is essential, because before you invite, people are going to look at your page before they answer you back.
Is that part of what you posted in Capture the Stars?
Yep. Everything I'm telling you is in Capture the Stars right now. I'm telling you a priority right now will be Capture the Stars.
Okay.
Okay. Everything I'm being trained on. Actually, this is repeat training for me, but I'm doing it again because you know what? You always miss something. So I don't mind listening to something an hour again because I missed it the first time I watched it because I don't have that much of an attention span. So I would focus on Capture the Stars when I have things in there for training. And then I would definitely do your invites, but it talks to you on how to invite. So I would not, if there's training in there about inviting and posting, that'd be your number one thing to do because those are your vital behaviors. Development would be watching them. The other vital behaviors would be posting and inviting, and you have videos in there to teach you how to do it. So that's your priority. That's how you can do your job better. And so if you have only one day of the week to do it, well, that's where I would spend my time doing. And then I would make sure my posts are up to what they're supposed to be. I would plan them out. I'd make sure they're in proper English. I would make sure that it looks like it's coming from a professional, knowledgeable person. Because honestly, if your posts don't look that way, people aren't going to treat you that way. So you want it to be clean looking. You want it to be brief as possible to hit the point. Every once in a while, have that nice long journey one is fine. You want the clean pictures, like I said earlier. But if you have all that and when you start inviting, people are going to reflect on what you have on your page. So think about that. It all goes back. They're all connected. If you're going to invite, but yet everything on your page has nothing to do with what you're talking about, then they're not going to do it. That's clean and simple. They're not following you. You want people to follow you. You need to make sure you put things up there that's interactive and to the point where they want to continue following you, even though they're not participating with that post. Obviously, when I get that much response so quickly from people who said they've been following me since 2008, my post must be connecting with them. And that's what you have to think about before you just shove a post up there. Your post will connect to your invites. You're being product of the product. It's about your post and it's about your inviting. See how they're all just connected? So if you don't want to say this the wrong way, if you screw up in one area, it's going to affect the other two. Right? So you need to do the development and learning how to do things. And that's, right now you're really lucky. I have tons of information in our group. Then you need to take that information and apply it, it's valuable information that's in there and about posting. And then you need to take that information and invite, and sometimes a post is also an invite, right? We know that. Sometimes we invite people to challenge groups and we're inviting people to things in a post. But make sure when you're inviting in a post that there's value there. Not just, hey, I'm throwing a group, the first 20 people are getting in and this is going to be awesome. They're going to be like, what that? What is it going to do for me? So basically, today was just about the basics. That's all we covered were the basics today. We didn't go above and beyond. It's the basic stuff that we need to know. And it's the basic stuff that's actually, I don't care what rank you are, they are still doing the basics. Even Melanie Mitro, who's a friend of mine on Facebook, she follows me on Instagram. She's always commenting on my things. She was #1 coach in all Beachbody, and she took the time to message me. So, she's still doing and being product of the product. She's still inviting. She's doing her job. 3 things: personal development, inviting, and being product of the product. Those are the 3 main parts of your job. Yes, more responsibilities come on as your business grows, but right now your function is just to do those 3 things. That's it. And just do it to the best of your ability. And then obviously if you have questions about it and you want to throw a post my way, throw it that way. I know that I've worked with quite a few people one-on-one just about a post. I think I get one from Mallory at least one every other day. Jeff and I speak quite a lot about his posts. I have no problem looking at people's posts and giving my opinion if you don't mind taking my advice or be ready for criticism. Because you know what? I have people say to me, Stace, did you mean to say this on your post? And I'm like, oh my God, no, I got to rephrase this. And I've edited my post many, many times because, it just didn't come out right. And I have coaches telling me that all the time. So I'm not afraid of criticism either, because you know what? Everybody's trying to help each other. So I had, and it was a post that Melanie Mitra saw on my Instagram, and she just had to send me a message on Facebook. And what that message was, I really love what you're doing. And I was like, oh my God, top person in our company just said she loved what I'm doing. I was doing a dance all around the house. I was a crazy lady. I was like, and then I'm like, what am I doing? I wish she told me exactly which post that was, because I have no idea. But it made me a happy girl, so that's okay. So it's okay to go both ways. It's okay for someone to say to you, hey, I'm trying to understand your post. I'm not getting it. And if so, we need to help each other. And I know it's Team Cup, so we kind of seem split, but we're not. We're still one team. We are still one solid team. And basically, if I see something about on Jeff's wall or on Craig's wall or whatever, and I'm like, I don't get it. What are you trying to say here? I don't care. We're helping each other all the time. That's what teams do. So I'm going to open up to any questions. And what I'm going to do is going to stop the recording, because I think I said a lot and this took up a lot of time. Hold on one second.